Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, violence against older women is pervasive, yet frequently goes unreported. Perpetrators are often intimate partners or spouses, family members and people who care for the elderly. Let's delve into this with Roedolf K from the South African Older Persons Forum. Mr. K, thank you very much for your time here on eNCA. When you look at the statistics, if you break it down for us, every time police release crime stats, of course, they just say crimes against women and children have gone up or down by this much percentage. But would you say that crimes against older persons is on the rise in South Africa?
Oh, most definitely. The thing is, though, that accurate statistics in terms of this specific crime is not kept by the South African Police Service. So the real statistics, the bigger picture of this type of crime is not really available. We don't know how many of these crimes are being perpetrated in South Africa because of the lack of statistics.
And maybe they should start giving us proper statistics, because it should show us exactly how we are as a nation if we're going to be like this against older people. But you know, they obviously are. These crimes are obviously growing because older persons are more vulnerable. They are an easy target, and also maybe because they also receive their SASSA grants, and maybe that's what the alleged perpetrators sometimes go after.
Absolutely. I mean, older persons are seen as soft targets by many criminals. The fact of the matter is that Act 13 of 2006 is is the primary act that aims to protect older people and provide recourse for the abuse of older persons. But at station level, many of the officers are not even aware of the Older Persons Act. I mean, we've had instances where social workers, when taking a victim to the police station, had to take a copy of the act with them, because police wouldn't believe that the act exists. They don't know that the act exists.
And, you know, there's also one question that I think is quite pertinent because sometimes the issue is societal, right? And in the past 2 days, the president has had that GBV presidential summit. It was the second one since the one he had first in 2018. But how do we expect government alone to deal with the societal issue?
Government alone cannot deal with the societal, with this specific issue, because many, you know, there's a lot of reporting in the media of cases of abuse that takes place in residential care facilities or old age homes. But this is not where the majority of older persons live. The majority of older persons lives within their communities. And that's also where most of this types of crime takes place. It would take community members and family members and even people like medical practitioners that are being made aware or are seeing that there's a case of abuse, reported. It is my duty according to the Act to do that. And this is why I think you know, communities need to be sensitized in terms of this crime. But I think another problem is also the increase in the attack on elderly women that are being suspected of practicing witchcraft. This is something that's quite prevalent in our country and in many rural communities. The fact is that many times these women, what happens is that the elderly woman that suffers from Alzheimer's disease, their behavior is being misconstrued, and sometimes that leads to attacks on suspicion of witchcraft. And this is a very real problem in the country at the moment.
And, you know, Mr. K, there's also the issue that sometimes these kind of crimes, especially against the elderly, happen in rural areas where the community is also unable to see exactly what the older person is going through. Does this also show, I mean, even though you and I have just had a conversation about the fact that it cannot be government alone that deals with this issue, have we as society and government as well basically turned our backs at the elderly? Is that how it looks?
Well, it certainly looks that way. I mean, for one, the responsiveness of the Department of Social Development when a situation of abuse or alleged abuse is reported. I'm sitting with, to give you an example, I'm sitting with one specific case that was reported over a week and a half ago, and it's quite a serious case, asking the department to act on this. And to date, I've not received a response. I've received a response, but I haven't received any action. No one has acted on that specific case. I know it may be a situation of too little social workers in our country, but we really got to prioritize crimes or violence against older persons. And I think the other side of the coin is, it is a fact that there's too little social workers in the system today. And it's something that's quite odd, because there's so many social workers that are without work. It could really, getting these social workers into the system could really go a long way in preventing these type of crimes.
All right. Well, Mr. K, thank you very much for speaking to us here on eNCA. That was National Coordinator Roedolf K.